After spending near 80 days in the world's best city for digital nomads, I'm going to share what you need to know to make the most of your experience and what to be aware of before you come, including a full breakdown of how much it costs to spend a month here. Thank you. First up, housing. Like many places advertised to be cheap paradises, the reality here is a little more complex. Airbnb is actually illegal here, making finding options there pretty limited and a bit shady. The next best option is typically Facebook groups, but that requires a little bit of in-person inspection. But there are really great deals on beachfront hotels, and we found a really nice one about 5-minute walk from the beach, including breakfast and daily house cleaning for 24 bucks a night. But still, we had heard about the really budget apartments, so we were on the look for that.
We tried to book an Airbnb in Da Nang. They were charging like an extra 100 bucks for electricity, which I guess is normal here. They charge you extra electricity beyond the Airbnb posting. That's something to be aware of, but it wasn't something we were aware of, so we ended up canceling.
Many of the places we were looking at were either poor quality, bad location, didn't match the pictures, and so on. So after one night stay in a nearby hotel apartment that lacked a kitchen, we were back at Mixay Boutique, our first hotel. And we signed a contract for a month's stay for over $800, which was beyond what I'd imagined to spend. But with breakfast included, daily house cleaning, and a 5-minute walk from the beach, it was still a really good deal, and better than anything else we had seen up to that point. In fact, after our first month's stay, we came very close to rebooking the same hotel. But in Da Nang, there's a lot of construction. There's constantly new villas, new hotels, and right by our hotel was a new villa that had finished, and we decided to take a look. It looked really nice. We expected it to be beyond our budget, but upon entering and talking to the owner, we learned that the monthly cost of a room with a kitchen, 5-minute walks again from the beach, was about $330 a month, which blew our minds. And unlike other places we had seen, this cost also included electricity. Needless to say, we jumped on the deal and even came close to signing a contract for a whole year because it was just such a great opportunity. Look, all this to say, can you find an amazing place for about 300 bucks a month? Maybe. You know, the people who are making a lot of these videos showing their amazing places have often stayed in those places for quite a long time, meaning they have time to explore, learn from others, and make connections. So you just showing up and finding a place like that is unlikely. I'll give you the contact if you DM me on Instagram. Another thing to keep in mind in regards to your expectations of finding good deals is the season. We are here during a very unpopular season. In fact, from September to December is the rainy season, typhoon season. Before we arrived, beginning of October, there was a typhoon. After we arrived, there was a typhoon that kind of scared us and we ran away to Ho Chi Minh, only to find out it's pretty normal here, and as long as you stock up, things are fine. Now, until beginning of December, the weather was actually overall fairly good with the occasional storm, but from December onward, it's been just constant storms. This is the best weather we've had in about 2 weeks, which is why I'm filming this video. So that is something to keep in mind. I wouldn't necessarily recommend coming during this season, but at the same time, it was overall a good experience. Da Nang is an amazing city to be in, and even when the weather's bad, it's not that bad. By the way, it is generally very warm here, but I do recommend bringing a jacket because on occasions, in the evenings, when the weather is bad, it can get a bit chilly. As a digital nomad, Da Nang really has all I could want, including beautiful beaches and good internet. Getting a SIM card is really cheap and easy, although I have heard that it's better to get it from local stores here, like Viatel, which is where we got it, than from the airport. And then all the places we stayed or cafes we visited have had really good internet. Da Nang has the best cafe culture I have personally ever experienced as a digital nomad. There are so many amazing, affordable cafes, and even though there are very nice co-works to work from, I just ended up using the cafes. One cafe that YouTuber friends of mine, Chris and Sophia, recommended is High 4. It's a really cool co-work cafe, and they have these little rooms that you can work in, and their policy is really you just need to buy a drink every 4 hours, which is one of the most generous policies I've ever heard of. As far as restaurants, it's like Michelin food you can get for a few dollars. Really amazing options. The cost of really eating out can really range from a really local place that could be under $1 to more typical places that we would eat at, which might be $4 or $5. In general, eating out as a couple, our cost would typically be between $10 to $12. The most we ever spent at a really nice place getting several entrees was maybe like 30 bucks. Most places do accept card here, but on occasion you might need to use cash. I'm from the US, so I use my Charles Schwab debit card because they reimburse the ATM fees. There's also plenty of exchanges to use. And of course, here you have the convenience of delivery. The Grab app is very convenient for delivering anything. You can connect an international card very easily and get delivery from supermarkets, groceries, whatever you want. There's also the Lazada app or website, which is this region's Amazon, and that's also very convenient for getting delivery of anything, including the tripod that this is on. Now, one thing I do want to note, there's a lot of cheap convenience here, but if you're on a budget, be aware that those little costs do add up, and they did add up a lot for us. So after our first month of living very conveniently here and spending far more than we expected, we decided to budget. And And this time we were cooking a lot more at home, buying groceries, and that brought our costs down. But still, even budgeting, our total cost came to about $2,300 for the month. And here's a total breakdown of those costs, but I'll explain more as we go through the video. Transportation is another one of those conveniences that can add up, and that's through using the Grab app. They have motorbikes and cars that can take you anywhere. You can use an international card, and it's very convenient. Now, again, if you're moving around a lot, those costs can add up. So if you want to reduce your costs and maybe have some fun, you can rent your own motorbike. I rented from a place called Tom's Motorbikes for about $80 for a month. They have electric bikes, which for those you don't actually need a license technically, and they have the gas bikes, which for those you do need a license technically. Now, I say technically because there are plenty of people who will use the gas bikes even though they don't have a license. It's kind of a well-known thing that the police here will take some money to look the other way. I've heard as low as 10 bucks. Luckily, it's not something that I've had to experience. If you are experienced in riding a motorbike, I recommend renting one. It's a lot of fun. Vietnam is not the safest place to ride a motorbike, so please be careful. It's very chaotic. Traffic rules do not exactly apply, and so you need to have complete awareness of your surroundings. I'm fairly experienced in riding a motorbike, and there were still more near-death experiences than I had expected. But having a bike can be very convenient for exploring. There are plenty of places to go from here. There's the old city of Hoi An, which I actually have friends who were staying there, and it's a popular destination. Very beautiful. If you go there, I recommend checking out Memories Land. They have a really nice performance. And oftentimes when people are talking about Da Nang, they're really just talking about Da Nang Beach. But Da Nang is a whole city that has shopping malls, stores. I highly recommend checking out the city and going into it. There's a Lady Buddha statue and a whole temple complex around it that is beautiful. There's just so many places to visit. There's Bana Hills, which has that beautiful bridge with the hands. We actually visited there, but the weather wasn't so good. And the people selling the tickets were nice enough to tell us that the weather isn't good and they don't recommend.
It's raining there, so I think you cannot visit.
For the day that we were there, but still exploring the bottom area was really cool. So we came close to buying tickets a few times, but each time the ticket vendors warned us that the weather condition was really poor, which I actually appreciate. But even if you're not buying tickets and going up, this downstairs area is pretty fun and interesting. So that's still kind of worth it, especially if you're coming from Da Nang. It's only like 40 minutes here. There's Hue, which is another really ancient, beautiful city that we wanted to go to, but the weather was poor in these last days, so we didn't. There's all kinds of beach resorts. Friends of ours went to a spa with like hot springs. Have an open mind, go explore. There's like little farm places. There's Marble Mountains, which is another Buddhist temple complex, and they have really big statues of the Buddha within these caves, which is cool to see. There's lifeguards on the beach. That's who you hear whistling. The beaches are very well structured and taken care of here. The vibe here is just great. It's amazing. It's a really unique place. I remember the first day we came here, we woke up early because of the jet lag, and 5 a.m. at sunrise, there are people on the beach doing yoga, exercising, running. Now, I do like to get my fitness in. Having the beach here has been really great for doing beach runs. And Mixay Boutique Hotel, the first hotel we were at, had a rooftop gym that was really convenient. But once we moved to the cheaper location, we needed to find a new gym. We looked around. There are a lot of these smaller affordable gyms, but they don't have AC, they get very crowded. And so once we lowered our housing costs, we decided to splurge a little bit. Chris and Sophia got us a free pass to the gym that they were going to, something I can do if you DM me on Instagram. Now for 1 month membership, it was pretty steep. It was about $100 a person, but very nice gym, sauna, swimming pool, ice bath. And if you do get a pass for a longer period, that price can come down significantly to maybe like $50 a month. We really enjoyed that experience. They have unlimited group classes. So if you use it a lot, it does become worth it. And this is Asia. This is Vietnam. Almost all such prices are up for negotiation a little bit. And on that topic, there's abundance of things to do. Definitely check out the Meetup app, Facebook groups. There's international people here from all over the world. There's all kinds of digital nomad events, activities. Nika, my partner, she went to a candle making class, an art class. There's probably no city I would recommend more for new digital nomads. You know, there's so many tourists coming from all around the world. A lot of Koreans. If you go to the supermarkets here, you're going to find a lot of Korean foods. There's a bunch of Korean barbecues. It kind of almost feels like another city of Korea. Koreans really love Da Nang. And one thing I really love about the city is it doesn't feel as gentrified as Bali or Cancun or these other kind of cities where you see expats and travelers and tourists going so much that it loses its culture. Here, the local people and local culture are very much here and in charge, and that just makes the energy here more pleasant to be around. Now, honestly, one concern I have is that that could change with time because there is so much construction, there is so much international investment. But as is right now, I would much prefer this place to, say, a Bali. And it's very important for me to know that the people here are what make it what it is. Vietnam has has been like overall. I've never really felt like a foreigner here. I've just felt comfortable, and Da Nang is just like that. The local people have been very kind, very friendly, very helpful. All in all, Da Nang is amazing. We came very close to renting the place we're at now for a whole year and just making this a home base, but we still want to travel a lot, and so we decided against that, because once you really get comfortable in a place, it becomes harder to move around. I think Da Nang is an ideal place to spend a longer period, recharge, and work remotely if that is something you're looking for. Since you enjoyed this video, check out the video I did comparing Ho Chi Minh City to Da Nang and Hanoi. I appreciate you watching. Take care. Peace.